Hey everybody, it is Monday. It's Amy the Cooking Mom, and I am back in my kitchen again doing another really great recipe. And Arlo decided to join us too. So say hi to everybody, Arlo, and be good this time, no barking. I hope you are surviving your Monday. I know we're all getting used to this new normal and it's not easy, but I gotta tell you, you guys on Facebook are just the best, and I so appreciate that you are enjoying these recipes and my cooking segments, and it means the world to me that you're liking what I'm doing. You know, I started this actually almost 2 weeks ago when I was stuck home just like everybody else, and I just didn't know what to do with myself. I was going a little stir crazy. So it's given me purpose. It forces me to shower every day, which is really a good thing. And it just, you know, it makes me feel like I'm doing something to help. So everybody can do something, and this is just what I do. I'm just doing what I do, I guess. So today's recipe, I think you're really gonna dig. I actually was doing a radio spot last week on WTMJ. They were talking to me about recipes for when we're stuck home. You know, here's the deal, people. We need to be staying home. We need to be going to the grocery store as little as possible. And when we go, we need to get in and get the heck out, get home. So I've been doing that, and I've been trying to go very, very rarely, just when we absolutely need it. I've been cooking from my pantry, from my freezer, from my fridge, and what I'm cooking in my kitchen every day here live on Facebook is what we're eating for dinner at night. So last night, let me tell you, we lick the plate clean of those smothered pork chops, or you can do that same recipe with chicken breast. So so good. You need to make that really, really good. But yesterday, when I ventured out to go to the grocery store, my local Piggly Wiggly here, the South Side Piggly Wiggly, they actually not only had pork chops for my recipe yesterday, but I found chuck roast. I've never been so happy to find a pot roast, a beef roast. So I thought, I'm gonna make something that is near and dear to my heart. And what I love about this recipe is that you can get a couple of different meals out of it. So I'm gonna show you how to make one of my all-time favorite sandwiches, French dips. Messy, ooey gooey with the Au Jus. Oh, I love French dip sandwiches so much. A lot of restaurants don't really serve them. It's something that is near and dear to my heart because when my dad, who passed this summer, and I used to go out when we were, you know, when I was growing up, we'd go out to a coffee shop, not the coffee shops that we have these days, you know, a coffee shop or a restaurant. If they had French dips on the menu, man, we would we'd split a French dip and with extra Au Jus. So that's what I'm making today. It's super quick and easy, and I'll show you how you can get a couple different meals out of this one recipe. So let's jump to it. Okay, so the first thing I did, I want to have leftovers for this recipe. Leftovers are a very good thing, especially with what we're going through right now, because we're all doing so much cooking. I've never cooked so much in my life. We're not only cooking dinner, we're cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So to get a few different meals out of it will make your life so much less stressful. So I've got a big old beef chuck roast. That's my roast of choice for this recipe because it needs to cook low and slow. But if you find a different type, like a rump roast, that will work too. And it's a big old piece of meat. So I've got like a 3 to 4 pounder, or you can do 2 of the smaller ones, and season it up well with freshly ground black pepper. And then I've also got some garlic powder. So season it up well. And then I'm doing this in my Nesco roaster. I gotta tell you, I have been using Nesco's for years. I first found out about Nesco's. It was my church dinner 28 years ago, and I saw all these big, beautiful Nesco roasters. Actually, a lot of them weren't too beautiful, but they were like 50 or 100 of them plugged in all around the church basement for the annual chicken dinner. And I was like, what? I wasn't real familiar with Nesco's. Anyway, I quickly found out it was like the best chicken ever. You know, it was so good. And for years and years and years, they've been doing the roast chicken in these Nesco roasters. So I got one, and the rest is history. But this is awesome because it's actually, instead of the big one, it's actually a 6-quart roaster. So it's about the size of your average slow cooker. And it does everything a slow cooker does. It's got this, you know, that lifts out so you can clean it really well. But it also browns So, you know, if you like a little color on your roast, and it's quicker than a slow cooker. So not that I don't love my slow cooker, and yes, Nesco makes some wonderful slow cookers, but loving this smaller Nesco roaster because it fits really well in my kitchen and does anything that an oven does. So it's really nice. And man, we've been smelling it all day long. Okay, so again, season that roast up on both sides. And then I'm gonna do 1 packet of just dry onion soup mix. I really like a lot of Au Jus. I think I got that from my mom. We like a lot of gravy. At Thanksgiving, we like lots of gravy, and you don't want to be running out of the Au Jus. So this gives the Au Jus some really good flavor. You know, the broth that this beef is gonna cook in. Speaking of flavor, I'm adding a little beer to this recipe. I live in Sheboygan, and this is one of the beers that we really enjoy. It's from Three Sheeps Brewing, and during times like this, it's really important to support local, and you know, we got to keep these local businesses going during this tough time. So if you haven't tried this, it's a great, they make all different kinds, but this happens to be our favorite. It's a more mild beer. It's got a lot of great flavor though, and it really works great with the beef. This is their Rebel Kent. It's an amber ale, but any kind of beer you have in the refrigerator will work. So I'm pouring the beer over there, and don't worry folks, the alcohol cooks out. It's just a really great braising liquid for this beef roast to be in all day, and it gives the Au Jus some great flavor. Do you absolutely have to put the beer in here? No, you do not. You can leave it out. But I love cooking with wine and beer because it really does add that extra layer of flavor. And then 4 to 6 cups of beef stock. Again, the more stock you put in, the more Au Jus you're gonna have. And then the lid goes on. And with my Nesco in my roaster here, I'm gonna do this at about 350. I put this in about noon. It's a big roast, and it's gonna get fall apart tender. It's so, so yummy. We've been smelling it all day long, and it hasn't been easy. We're cooped up here at home like everybody else, but it is really nice to be smelling dinner cooking all day long. I've never looked forward so much to family dinners and hanging out around the table, and it just smells really good all day when it's cooking. Speaking of this, my good friends at Nesco, I actually teamed up with them, and once a week for the next 4 weeks, you could actually win one of my favorite Nesco products. So just go, you can see it on Facebook right underneath the post here, and register, sign up, and you could win. Also, if you are interested in one of these roasters or that wonderful big ol' 12-inch deep electric skillet, and slow cookers, I love their slow cookers. Just go to my website, thecookingmom.com, where in the search button you can put French dips and you'll get this recipe, or you can go to the shop page and you actually can get, they just for me, because they're super nice people, 20% off of my favorite roasters, slow cookers, and those electric skillets. So a little added bonus for you. Okay, so here it is. Pretty excited about this. Oh, you need to get some really nice crusty rolls to serve this with, or toast hamburger buns, or sub rolls. I like to warm them. I'm a little bit naughty that way. I actually butter my roll and season it up a little bit. Yeah, it's really good. But you don't have to take that step. But I do like to serve this all shredded up on a warm toasty roll, because it's got to stand up to the Au Jus. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's get in here. Enough talk. And by the way, I so appreciate when you're giving me the thumbs up, when you're telling me, yeah, I like that recipe, I want to try it, or tell me I should do some different recipes. I know a lot of you are watching your carbs, so I've been trying to do a couple low carb recipes, like the smothered pork chops yesterday and the pepper steak I did last week. So I love hearing your comments, and I love, love, love your feedback. Okay, so here's what we're talking about, people. And that's why I love doing it in this roaster. You can also do this in the oven, by the way, because it's much quicker. In your slow cooker, it's gonna need a good 8 to 10 hours all day, but you can certainly do this in your slow cooker too. So you get in there and you kind of shred it up and put it on the sandwich. And leftovers. So here's an idea on how to use the leftovers. So that's why I'm saying get a really big roast or a couple of them. You can make mashed potatoes and gravy and thicken up the Au Jus with a little bit of flour and maybe some milk. and boil it up and thicken it up that way, or cornstarch and do it with mashed potatoes. You can shred it up with some barbecue sauce and do barbecue beef sandwiches. You can shred this up with green chilies or salsa and do it in burritos. So there you go, a couple of completely different meals out of this exact same recipe. So incredibly excited for this tonight. And then of course, don't forget the Au Jus. Where's my little spoon finger? My ladle. Well, you get the idea. Oh, I'm just gonna do this. Boom. So dip away, get out the napkins, people, because this sandwich is a little bit messy. Also, one thing I wanted to mention real quick, I always do highs and lows, and I would love to know your highs and lows of the day. One of my highs is I've been smelling this all day, and I'm, again, really excited to dive in. Another one of my highs today is I washed the sheets again. I did a post on Facebook about I have been washing my sheets like 2 to 3 times a week because goodness gracious knows I've got the time because I'm stuck home. Nothing is better to me than clean sheets. Has anybody else been washing their sheets more than normal? Anyway, I posted a picture of my nice clean sheets, and I can hardly wait to dive into that bed after a long day. And keep the ideas on what to watch on Netflix and Hulu coming, please. We started watching that tiger thing on Netflix. It's crazy. We're only a couple episodes in. You know the lows. The lows are just more and more people keep getting sick, and it's just heartbreaking. So I'm sending prayers to everyone out there who was affected by this, and oh my goodness gracious, thank you to all our medical staff. Please, everybody, be safe, take care. I'll meet you back here in my kitchen tomorrow around 3:30. Let me know your recipes, ideas. What would you like me to make? The recipe below is going to be right below for these French dips, and I will be hanging out here on Facebook for the next half hour or so if you want to chat, and I will be responding to your comments. So have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.